I hit him with a baseball bat 3 times 4. I lost count after the fifth. All I remember is the sound, that dull thud, like something breaking deep inside. And I remember not stopping until my sister's cries faded in my head, until I felt that finally, for the first time in months, I could breathe. Have you ever wanted to tear someone apart with your bare hands because the mere fact that they breathe feels like an injustice? Have you ever felt that if you don't do something, absolutely no one else will? Look, I know what I'm about to tell you is heavy, real, heavy, but I need to get it out because I've been holding this in for months and I can't anymore. This is my story, a story that a lot of people will judge, that many will say was wrong, that I should have done things differently. But you weren't there. You didn't see what I saw. You didn't hear what I heard. So, before you judge me, listen to everything, the whole complete story, because what I did for a reason, and if I went back, I'd do it exactly the same. My name is Jamal. I'm 16, and until a year ago, my life was normal, I guess, or what anyone would consider normal. I live with my dad and my younger sister Chloe. Well, I did. Things are different now, but we'll get to that. My mom passed away when I was 8. Cancer. It was quick and painful. And there are still days when I wake up, and for a second, I forget she's gone. Chloe barely remembers her. She was 5. Sometimes I think it's better that way, that she doesn't carry as many memories as I do. After Mom passed, my dad became 2 people. The daytime dad who worked 12-hour shifts as a store manager to keep us afloat, and the nighttime dad who came home so tired he could barely ask us how school was before falling asleep in front of the TV. I don't blame him. I never did. I know he did what he could. But that absence, that void, Mom left, someone had to fill it. And that's where he comes in, my Uncle Marcus. Marcus is my dad's older brother. He was always the successful one in the family, the one who made it in business, the one who gets a new car every 2 years and watches that cost more than our 6 months' rent. When Mom passed, Marcus offered to help us out. Money for school expenses, for Chloe's outings, so my dad wouldn't drown in debt. My dad saw him as a saint. "Your uncle saved us," he'd always tell me. Without him, I don't know what would have become of us. For years, everything seemed fine. Marcus would come 2 or 3 times a week, take us out to dinner, give my dad money, buy us things. He got me my first console, my cell phone, my favorite sneakers. He bought Chloe clothes, makeup, girl stuff. I thought he was a good uncle, a generous uncle. Now I know every gift had a price. A price. Chloe started paying exactly a year and a half ago, but at the time, I knew nothing. I was in 8th grade, worried about my tests, about my girlfriend back then, about fitting in at school. I had my group of friends. We'd hang out on weekends, play video games until 3 a.m. My best friend was Kevin. We'd known each other since 1st grade. He was like my brother, or so I thought. Things started to change about 6 months ago. Little things I didn't notice at first. Chloe stopped coming down for dinner when Marcus was home. She'd say she had homework, that she was tired, that she wasn't hungry. My dad didn't pay it any mind. "It's adolescence," he'd say. "You know how girls get at that age." But I knew her. Chloe was always cheerful, smiling, one of those kids who lights up a room when they walk in, and suddenly she turned gray, like someone had turned something off inside her. She started wearing bigger clothes, huge sweaters even on hot days. She grew out her bangs to cover her face. She stopped hanging out with her friends. Once I found her crying in the bathroom at 2 a.m. And when I asked her what was wrong, she told me it was just girl stuff, to leave her alone. I wanted to insist, but she slammed the door in my face. I should have insisted more. That's a mistake that'll haunt me my whole life. At school, I had my own problems. Kevin started acting weird with me. Passive-aggressive comments, subtle digs, that kind of thing. One day, I found out he'd been talking about me behind my back, saying I was jealous of my Uncle Marcus because he had money, and we didn't. That I was ungrateful, that I made things up for attention. I didn't understand anything. I hadn't made anything up. I hadn't said anything. But the rumors were already there, spreading like wildfire. I confronted Kevin one day after class. We ended up yelling at each other in the middle of the parking lot with half the world watching us. "You're obsessed with your uncle," he said. "What's wrong with you? Do you want to be him? Get over it, Jamal. Not everyone can be rich." I felt like hitting him, but I held back. At that point, I still believed things were resolved by talking. How naive I was. That night, I came home a wreck. I didn't tell my dad anything because he was dealing with problems at work, talking about possible layoffs. I didn't want to worry him more. I went straight up to my room and locked myself in. That's when I heard her, Chloe, crying in her room, which is right next to mine. It wasn't a normal cry. It was a choked, desperate cry, like she was trying not to make noise, but couldn't hold it back. I approached her door. I hesitated. I don't know why I hesitated. I should have gone in immediately, but something stopped me. Maybe the fear of invading her space, of her rejecting me again. So I just stood there, with my hand on the doorknob, listening to my little sister breaking into pieces on the other side of the wall. And then I heard her say something that chilled me to the bone. "I don't want Uncle Marcus to come anymore. Please, God, make him stop coming." At that moment, something clicked in my head. All the pieces I'd been ignoring, all the changes in Chloe. Everything started to take shape. But I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't believe it, because if what I was thinking was true, then it meant that for months, while I was in my room playing video games or fighting with Kevin over stupid things, my sister was suffering something terrible. Something I hadn't seen, something I hadn't wanted to see. I knocked softly on the door. "Chloe, it's me. Can I come in?" Silence. Then her broken voice. "Go away, Jamal. I'm fine." "You're not fine. Let me in." "Go away." Her scream took me by surprise. Chloe had never yelled at me like that. She had never rejected me that way. Something was very wrong. I stayed awake all night turning it over in my mind. What did Marcus have to do with all of this? Why didn't Chloe want him to come over? What had he done to her? The questions were eating me alive, but a part of me refused to accept the obvious answer, because that answer was too horrible, too monstrous. And Marcus was family. Marcus had helped us. Marcus was my dad's brother, his best friend, his savior. It couldn't be what I was thinking. The next day at school, I couldn't concentrate on anything. Teachers talked, and I didn't hear a word. During recess, Kevin tried to approach me, probably to mock me again, but I ignored him completely. I had more important things on my mind than his nonsense. When the dismissal bell rang, I ran home. I needed to talk to Chloe. I needed her to tell me I was crazy, that I was imagining things, that everything was fine. But when I got there, the house was empty. My dad was still at work. Chloe was at after-school activities. I was alone, surrounded by a silence that felt heavy, dense, full of secrets. And it was in that silence that I made a decision that would change everything. I went into Chloe's room. I had never invaded her privacy like that before, but I didn't care anymore. I needed answers. I searched her drawers, her closet under her bed. I didn't know what I was looking for exactly. A diary, a note, some proof that my suspicions were unfounded. But I found nothing. Everything seemed normal, too normal. Then, I saw her cell phone on the nightstand. It was off. Chloe always carried it with her. She never left it at home. The fact that it was just lying there seemed strange. I turned it on. Luckily, I knew her password. She had given it to me months ago, so I could help her with something. I checked her messages, her social media. Nothing out of the ordinary, or so it seemed. But then I opened her photo gallery, and there, hidden in a folder she had tried to conceal, I found pictures of herself. Pictures no 13-year-old girl should have on her phone. Pictures someone had forced her to take. And in some of them, reflected in the mirror, in the background barely visible, was him, Marcus. I don't know how long I stood there staring at the screen, feeling my whole world crumble. My hands were shaking, my stomach churned. I had to run to the bathroom to throw up. When I came back, the photos were still there, real, undeniable. Proof that my uncle, the man my dad idolized, the one who had saved us, was a monster. But there was something worse, something that split me in two. In the gallery, there were screenshots of conversations between Chloe and Marcus. He was saying horrible things to her. He was telling her that if she spoke, no one would believe her, that her dad would choose him because he was the one putting money in the house, that she was special, that this was their secret, that if she truly loved him, she'd keep her mouth shut. He was manipulating her. He was destroying her. And the worst part was, he'd been doing it since she turned 13. A year and a half of nightmare for my little sister. And where was I during all this, fighting with Kevin, playing video games, living my life as if nothing was wrong? I heard the front door open. Chloe had arrived. I ran downstairs with the cell phone still in my hand. She saw me, and her face transformed. Pure panic. "Jamal, what are you doing with my phone?" Her voice trembled. She moved to grab it, but I pulled it away. "Chloe, what is this? What did he do to you? What is he doing to you?" She started crying. "Give me my phone, please. Jamal, give it to me. I need to know what he did to you." "It's nothing. Leave me alone." But I wasn't going to leave her alone. Not anymore. I took her by the arm, led her to the living room, made her sit down. She cried nonstop, covering her face with her hands. "Chloe, please tell me what happened. Tell me what Uncle Marcus did to you." Hearing his name, she sobbed harder. I can't say it. Dad will hate him. He'll think it's my fault. Your fault. You're 10 years old. None of this is your fault. He says it is. He says I provoked him, that I asked for it, that because of how I dress, how I talk. That's a lie. All of that is a lie. And then through tears, Chloe told me everything. She told me how it started. How at first Marcus just made strange comments about how pretty she was getting. How then the hugs started lasting too long. The touches that didn't feel right. And then a year and a half ago, when she turned 13, how he came to her room one night when my dad was working a night shift and I was at Kevin's house. How he convinced her that what they were going to do was normal. That it was how he showed his affection. That all close families did this. How it hurt her. How she cried. How he told her that if she spoke, she would destroy the family. That my dad would lose his job because Marcus was the one keeping him afloat with his loans. That I would hate her for ruining everything, that no one would believe her because he was the respectable adult and she was just a child seeking attention. Hearing all of that was like taking blow after blow. Every word was a punch straight to the gut. My little sister, my Chloe. The girl I carried on my shoulders when she was small, who asked me to read her stories before bed, who hugged me when she had nightmares. That girl had been living a real nightmare for a year and a half, and I hadn't realized. What kind of brother was I? When she finished speaking, we stayed in silence. She cried in my arms. I clenched my teeth so hard my jaw hurt. I felt so much rage, so much hatred, so much helplessness that I didn't know what to do with it all. I wanted to scream. I wanted to destroy something. I wanted to make Marcus feel a fraction of the pain he had caused my sister. I'm going to tell Dad, I said. He has to know. She grabbed my arm scared. No, you can't. He won't believe me. He'll think I'm lying. He will believe you because we have proof. The photos, the messages. Jamal, please. I'm scared. I know you're scared, but this has to end, and it's going to end today. That night, when my dad got home from work, I had everything prepared. The printed screenshots, the photos, everything organized like a legal case. Chloe was in her room, refusing to come down. I didn't blame her. My dad walked into the house, looking tired, as always. Hey, son. How was your day? Dad, I need to talk to you. It's urgent. Something in my tone made him stop. Is something wrong? Yes, something very wrong. Sit down. I showed him everything, the photos, the messages. I explained what Chloe had told me. I expected him to explode, to yell, to promise to kill Marcus, but he didn't do any of that. He just sat there, looking at the evidence, as if he couldn't process it. This has to be a mistake, he finally said. A mistake, Dad. The proof is right there. Marcus wouldn't do something like this. He's my brother. He's helped us so much. He's been deceiving us. He's been abusing Chloe for over a year. There has to be an explanation. Maybe Chloe misinterpreted something. Misinterpreted. Dad, wake up. Your brother is a predator. My dad stood up abruptly, furious. Don't talk about your uncle like that. You don't know what you're saying. Yes, I do. I read the messages. I saw the photos. I talked to Chloe. Chloe is a confused child. Girls at that age invent things for attention. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own father defending the monster, doubting his own daughter. So, you're telling me Chloe made everything up? The photos, the messages, everything. I don't know, Jamal. But I can't just accuse Marcus without being sure. What more do you need? Do you want her to tell you herself? Yes, I want to talk to her. I want her to explain it to me, looking me in the eyes. I went up for Chloe. She was curled in a ball on her bed, trembling. I don't want to go down. Please don't make me go down. Dad wants to talk to you. I already told you he won't believe me. I'm going to make him believe you. I practically dragged her downstairs. When my dad saw her, his expression softened a bit. Chloe, my love, come sit. Talk to me. Tell me what happened. She couldn't even look at him. In a voice barely audible, she began to tell him everything from the beginning, every painful detail. And I watched as my dad processed it all, as his face went from disbelief to confusion, from confusion to something like horror. But it never reached the rage, the indignation I expected. When Chloe finished, my dad remained silent for a long time. Then he said something I will never forget or forgive. We have to handle this carefully. Marcus is my brother. We can't just call the police and destroy his life. Destroy his life? What about Chloe's life? I know. But think about it, Jamal. If this comes out, the whole family will suffer. Your sister will have to testify. It will be in the news. Everyone at school will find out. Is that what you want for her? I want that bastard to pay for what he did. and he will pay, but our way. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to make him admit what he did and seek help, and he's going to stay away from us forever." I couldn't believe it. My dad wanted to talk to Marcus, as if this was something that could be resolved with a conversation, as if Marcus was going to admit he was a pedophile and simply walk off into the sunset. My father's naivety, or rather his cowardice, disgusted me. "Dad, you're being an idiot. Jamal, don't talk to me like that. You are. Your daughter needs justice, and all you can think about is protecting the family's image." "I'm thinking about protecting her. If this goes wrong, if Marcus denies everything, and there isn't enough evidence to convict him, Chloe will be destroyed. I've read about these cases. Lawyers attack the victims, make them look like liars. I'm not going to expose your sister to that." That night, I didn't sleep. I tossed and turned in bed, thinking about everything that had happened, about Chloe's face, about my dad's words, about Marcus probably sleeping peacefully in his house, unaware that his secret had been discovered. The rage grew inside me like something alive, something that burned within. I couldn't leave it like this. I couldn't trust my dad to do the right thing, because my dad was weak, my dad was scared, and fear has never protected anyone. The next morning, my dad called Marcus. He asked him to come over to talk about something important. Marcus arrived that afternoon with his usual smile, with that air of superiority he had always had. I was on the stairs listening. "What's up, bro? You sounded serious on the phone." My dad cleared his throat. "Marcus, I have to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me." "Sure, anything. It's about Chloe. Jamal showed me some photos, some messages, and Chloe told me things. Very serious things." The silence that followed was deafening. "What kind of things?" Marcus's voice sounded cautious now. "Things I don't even want to repeat. Tell me it's not true. Tell me my daughter is confused." Another silence. "Chloe said something about me. She said that you abused her." Marcus's laugh took me by surprise. A dry, almost incredulous laugh. "She said that, wow, your daughter has quite an imagination." "Marcus, this is not a joke. There's proof." "Proof? What proof?" "A few little photos the kid took herself, and now she wants to blame me." "Please, Chloe is at that age seeking attention. She probably has a boyfriend who pressured her, and now she needs to blame someone." "Don't lie. The messages are from your number." "I text my niece. We're family now. Is that a crime?" "The messages are inappropriate." "Show them to me. Let's see how inappropriate they are." I couldn't take it anymore. I stormed down the stairs, confronting him face to face. "We know what you did. Stop lying." Marcus looked at me with contempt. "Oh, the hero brother. Did you fall for Chloe's story too?" "It's not a story. I saw the photos, I read what you wrote to her. You're a damn pedophile." "Watch your mouth, punk. Or what are you going to do the same to me as you did to her?" Marcus took a threatening step towards me. My dad stepped in between us. "Marcus, please, just admit it. If you admit what you did, we can get help. We can handle it without involving the authorities." Marcus looked at him as if he were crazy. "Admit what?" "That your daughter is a dramatic liar." "Look, brother, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I had nothing to do with it. If Chloe is making up stories, that's your problem as a father, not mine." And then he just left. He got up and walked out of the house as if nothing had happened. My dad stood there in shock. "I'm going to talk to a lawyer," he finally said. "I'm going to see what can be done." But I knew he wouldn't do anything, that he would find excuses, that he would be scared that in the end, nothing would happen. And Marcus would get away with it. He would continue living his perfect life while my sister rotted inside. 3 days passed. 3 days my dad investigated legal options. 3 days Chloe barely left her room. 3 days Marcus sent condescending messages to my dad's phone about getting therapy for Chloe, and understanding that teenagers go through difficult phases, as if he were the concerned one, as if he were the victim. On the 4th day, Kevin approached me at school. "Hey, I heard your uncle stopped coming over. What happened? He doesn't have money to give you guys anymore." I looked at him without saying anything. "Oh, I see. It stung when I told you the truth the other day, didn't it?" "No." Something inside me broke. I pushed him so hard he fell to the ground. "Shut your mouth. You don't know anything." Kevin got up furiously and pushed me back. In seconds, we were on the ground hitting each other. The teachers had to separate us. We both ended up suspended for 3 days. My dad was called by the school and came to pick me up disappointed. "What's wrong with you, Jamal? This isn't like you. What's wrong with me is that no one does anything, absolutely no one. and everyone expects me to keep quiet and act like everything is fine. My dad didn't say anything the rest of the way home because he knew I was right. That night, while my dad slept and Chloe was locked in her room, as always, I was awake thinking, brooding. The rage hadn't left. On the contrary, it had grown. It had become something solid, something with form and direction. And then I heard a car engine outside the house. I peeked out the window. It was Marcus. He was parking in front of our house, probably to talk to my dad again, to convince him that everything was a misunderstanding, and something in me clicked. A cold, clear decision, as if it had always been there waiting. I went downstairs without making a sound. In the garage, leaning against the wall, was my baseball bat, the one my mom had given me years ago when I still played on a youth team. I grabbed it. I felt the weight in my hands. Perfect. I left the house through the back door. I circled the block. Marcus was still in his car, talking on the phone, laughing at something so calm, so sure that everything would turn out fine for him. I waited patiently, watching him, and when he finally hung up and opened the car door to get out, I was already there. "Hey, Uncle Marcus," I said. He turned around surprised. "Jamal, what are you doing out here?" "I came to have the conversation my dad can't have." He noticed the bat in my hand. His expression changed. "Jamal, calm down. Put that down." "Why are you scared? Are you making a mistake?" "No, my dad made the mistake of believing this could be resolved by talking. If you touch me, you'll go to jail. I'm underage, and I have all the proof of what you did to my sister, so if I want to take the risk, I will." Marcus tried to run. He didn't get far. The first blow was to his legs. He fell. The second to his back. He screamed. The third to his side. He stopped screaming, only moaned. I kept going. 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. I wasn't thinking. I only felt the rage, the pain, the helplessness of all those months leaving me with each impact. And when I finally stopped, Marcus was unconscious on the ground, bleeding, barely breathing. I looked at him and felt nothing. No guilt, no regret, no fear, only relief. Someone must have heard the screams, because minutes later, the police arrived. They found me standing there with the bat still in my hand, looking at Marcus's body. I didn't run. I didn't resist. I told them exactly what I had done and why. I showed them the photos, the messages, everything. I asked them to go to my house and talk to Chloe, and they did. Marcus was in a coma for 2 weeks. When he woke up, he had brain damage, memory problems, speech problems, reduced mobility. The doctor said he would never be the same. I was in custody awaiting trial. But when the detectives reviewed all the evidence, when Chloe gave her official testimony, when other investigators found more victims in Marcus's past who had never dared to speak, things changed. My lawyer argued emotional self-defense, family protection, the fact that I was a minor and had acted under extreme stress, feeling that the system would not protect my sister. The judge was hard on me. He told me I had taken justice into my own hands, that it could not go unpunished. He gave me probation, community service, mandatory therapy, but no prison. Marcus went to trial. With his deteriorated mental state and all the evidence against him, he was convicted. 10 years, although he'll probably get out sooner due to his medical condition. My dad never fully forgave me. He says I destroyed the family, that I ruined the chance to handle things properly. But Chloe hugged me the day I got out of custody and told me, "Thank you. Thank you for doing what no one else did." And that was enough for me. Now I'm 17. I live with it every day, with what I did, with what I caused. Some people call me a hero. Others call me a criminal. I don't know what I am. I only know that if I went back, I would do it exactly the same, because my sister can now sleep without nightmares, because she can go to school without having panic attacks, because she smiles again. And if that makes me a villain, then I guess I'm a villain. Look, I'm not going to tell you that what I did was right. I'm not going to give you a motivational speech about vigilante justice, but I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes the system doesn't work. Sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you don't. And when you're alone, when you feel like no one else will act, you have to decide what kind of person you want to be. I decided to be the brother my sister needed, even if it meant becoming something darker, something more dangerous. Did I do the right thing? Probably not. Do I regret it? Not either. Because every time I see Chloe laughing with her friends again, every time I see her living without fear, I know it was worth it. All the pain, all the consequences, everything was worth it. And if you're listening to this and you're going through something similar, if someone is hurting you and you feel like no one is listening, don't do what I did. Seek help. There are organizations. There are hotlines. There are people who do care. Don't throw your life away by making irreversible decisions like I did. But if the time comes when there really are no more options, If you've exhausted everything and no one did anything, then do what you have to do and live with those consequences as I live with mine. Before I go, I want to ask you something. If this video impacted you, if you felt something while listening to my story, give me a like. Seriously appreciate the like button down below. And if you want to hear more stories like this, real stories from real people who have gone through unimaginable things, subscribe to the channel. It's easy. Just find the red button that says subscribe and click it. That way, every time we upload a new video, you'll get a notification. I know this video was long. I know it probably left you with a lot of questions and mixed feelings. But I needed to tell it all. I needed you to understand the full context, everything that led to that moment in the parking lot with the bat in my hands. It wasn't something I did lightly. It was the result of months of pain, of helplessness, of feeling there was no other way out. And if you're still here, after all this time listening to me, thank you. Thank you for not judging me without knowing the whole story. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to explain myself. I want you to comment below what you think. Do you think I did well? Do you think I should have waited for the system to work? Would you do the same in my place? There are no right or wrong answers. I just want to know what you think. And if you've ever experienced something similar, if you know someone who is going through abuse, please share your story. You don't have to give details if you don't want to, but sharing helps. Knowing you're not alone helps. Every day we upload new stories to this channel. Stories that will leave you speechless, that will make you think, that will make you feel things you probably don't want to feel, but that you need to process. Because real life isn't rosy. Real life is complicated. It's painful. It's often unfair. And pretending nothing is happening doesn't help anyone. So if you want to continue being part of this community, where we talk about things no one else dares to talk about, where we support each other without judgment, subscribe. Activate the bell, share with someone you think needs to hear this. And I'm sorry if the video was too long. I'm sorry if it was too heavy. But these experiences cannot be told in 5 minutes. You can't summarize a trauma. You can't edit pain to make it easier to digest. I had to tell it all. I had to vent to someone who would understand. And if you made it this far, if you listened to my whole story without closing the video, then you are that person. You are part of this community that I needed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not leaving me alone with this. See you in the next video. And remember, no matter how dark everything is right now, there is always someone willing to listen to you. There is always a way out. Maybe not the one I took, but there is one. You just have to find it. And in the meantime, we are here. All of us, this community, we are here for you. Take care seriously. And if you need help, seek it. Don't wait until it's too late.